Have you ever been so in love with someone that you're so certain that you could trust them with everything, even your life? Now imagine waking up one day and discovering that everything you believed about them, every truth you thought you knew, was a lie. What would you do? Well, that's exactly what happened to me. Before we dive into the story, I need you to do something important. Please, take a moment to like this video, because your likes help this video reach more people who need to discover this platform, giving them a space to share their own real-life stories, learn from others, and gain practical advice and support. Your support helps us grow and keep the LC community thriving. And please, comment below. Your thoughts matter. Share your stories with us via email at realtalkwithlc@gmail.com. Engage with the community and help us keep this conversation going. Once again, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos that dive deep into true life stories that challenge us all. This isn't just a tale of betrayal. It's a story about love, life, and the harsh truths we often try to ignore. The truth is, I never expected it. Not in a million years. One moment, everything is fine, perfect and even. And the next, my whole life, my marriage, everything I believed to be true, shattered. The woman I thought I knew, the woman I thought I loved, she wasn't who I thought she was. And I didn't see it coming. I never had a single clue. Let me introduce myself. My name is Mark Thompson, 42 years old, living in Los Angeles, California. I'm a businessman, always on the go, traveling for work. My life had its challenges, sure, but I had a family, a beautiful wife, Caroline, and a home I worked hard to build. I was content. I thought we had everything: love, trust, stability. But it all came crashing down one night. I've been married to Caroline for 8 years. It wasn't always perfect, but it was real. Before her, I had already been through a failed marriage. My first wife and I simply grew apart. There was no hatred, no bitterness, just two people who outgrew each other. When Caroline came into my life, I believed she was my second chance at happiness. She was everything I needed: kind, loving, and supportive. She had a way of making everything feel right. And I was a fool to believe I was the only one in her life who mattered. I worked long hours. My job required me to travel a lot. But when I was home, Caroline and I shared a bond that I thought was unbreakable. She cooked, she cleaned, she made our house a home, and I did everything I could to show her I appreciated it. Every time I came back from a trip, I brought her flowers. I thought I was doing everything right. But Caroline wasn't just a wife to me. She was my world. I had been through the pain of divorce once before, and I didn't want to repeat the same mistakes. I promised myself I would do better, love her better. I never imagined she'd betray me in the way she did. But here's the thing: when you think you know someone, really know them, it's easy to overlook the things that should raise red flags. You see, Caroline had a past I was never truly aware of. Her brother, Samuel, was always in the picture. He was close to her, a little too close for my liking. And then there was Andrew, one of Samuel's childhood friends, a man I didn't trust. And Caroline? She never stopped talking about him, never stopped seeing him as part of the family. But still, I didn't worry. I thought I was being irrational. She always told me, "He's just a friend. He's family. Trust me." And I did. I trusted her. But on that night, Samuel's 30th birthday, everything changed. Everything. I thought it would be a simple celebration. A night at Vu's, one of the most elegant restaurants in the city. Caroline was glowing, excited to see her old friends. She had the night planned. "Please don't go on any business trips this week," she begged me. "Come with me to the party. We'll have fun." And I thought, why not? I promised her I'd be there. So I left my work behind. I dressed up, I went. But that night wasn't what I expected. The place was filled with laughter, the air thick with excitement, and the hum of conversations. Caroline was in her element, singing with her friends, dancing like she hadn't a care in the world. But there was someone else who caught my attention. Andrew. I had always felt something wasn't right between him and Caroline. The way he looked at her, the way she would smile when he was around. But tonight, it felt different. There was a tension in the air that I couldn't quite place. I had a few drinks to loosen up, but even in my slightly tipsy state, I couldn't ignore the uncomfortable feeling in my chest. And then, out of nowhere, Andrew stood up, grabbed the microphone, and in front of everyone, he said those words. "Tonight, I can't stay quiet anymore. Caroline, leave your businessman behind and be with me. I'm tired of sneaking around. It's time to stop hiding." The room fell silent. I could hear my heartbeat. Caroline's face turned pale. But what hit me hardest wasn't the shock on her face. It was the fact that the man I had called a friend, the man I thought was just a part of her past, was standing there, exposing their secret affair. To everyone. My mind raced, and my blood boiled. Caroline's voice cracked as she turned to Andrew, furious. "What the hell do you think you're doing? This is my life, not yours. You don't get to ruin it." But it was too late. The damage had been done. The truth was out. I left Vooz in a daze, the world spinning around me. But the worst part? I wasn't just angry at Andrew. I was furious with myself. How had I not seen it? How had I allowed myself to trust her so completely? I walked out of there alone, my mind consumed with a million questions. I had no answers, only a pain that cut deeper than I could explain. Caroline didn't come home until well past midnight. I knew she was probably avoiding me, unsure of how to face the storm that was now our reality. When she finally walked through the door, her face was pale, her eyes avoiding mine. There was nothing left of the woman I had loved. She was just a shell, a person I didn't recognize anymore. I sat on the couch, staring straight ahead, trying to keep my emotions in check. But the anger, the hurt, it was overwhelming. Caroline didn't speak at first, the silence between us deafening. I waited, forcing myself to breathe, waiting for her to say something. Finally, her voice broke the silence. "Mark, I didn't mean for this to happen," she said, her voice trembling as if she was fighting to hold back tears. "I swear I didn't want to hurt you." I turned to look at her, my chest tight with fury. "How could you do this, Caroline? After everything we've been through, everything we built? And Andrew, how long has this been going on?" Her eyes filled with tears, but I couldn't bring myself to feel sorry for her. Not now, not after everything. "Mark, I can't explain why I did it. I don't even know how I let it go this far. You were always away for work, and Andrew, he was always there in the background. He was my first love. You were always working, and I felt so lonely. And one day, it happened. I let him back into my life, and it all spiraled out of control. But that's no excuse. I should have stopped. I should have fought it." I felt a knot tighten in my chest. "So you kept this from me all these years, all while we built this life together?" She nodded, her voice barely audible now. "I was selfish. I didn't want to lose you, Mark. But I couldn't stop myself. I thought I could just move on. But every time you left for a business trip, Andrew would come around. And every time I kept telling myself it was over. But it wasn't. I betrayed you." I stood up, my heart pounding with frustration. "And you think I'm supposed to just accept that? You think I'm supposed to believe that after everything, after all the trust I put in you, you kept letting him back into your life? After everything we talked about, everything I thought we had?" Her voice broke, and she took a step toward me. "I'm so sorry. I should have never let it go that far. I thought I could manage it, but I couldn't. You were never around enough, Mark. Your work, the trips, they kept taking you away from me, and I let myself get caught up in something I shouldn't have. It wasn't about love. It was about loneliness, and I'm so ashamed of that." I took a step toward her, my anger building. "You didn't try hard enough. You didn't care enough to make the right choice. You didn't think about me, about us. You thought you could have both worlds, Caroline. And now look where we are." Her face crumpled as tears ran down her cheeks. "I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, Mark, But please, I beg you, don't leave me. I know I've ruined everything, but I swear it's over with Andrew. Please, just give me one more chance. I'll prove to you that I can make it right." I shook my head, feeling the weight of it all. Forgiveness doesn't work that way. You don't just get to choose when to tell the truth. You don't get to destroy everything we had and expect me to act like nothing happened. She reached out for me, her voice desperate. "Please, Mark, I love you. This was a mistake. I ended it with Andrew. I swear, it's over. Please, forgive me." But the damage was done. The betrayal was too deep, the lies too many. I couldn't see her the same way. I couldn't pretend it hadn't happened. "Leave, Caroline." Her face crumbled as she collapsed onto the couch, tears streaming down her face. "Please, Mark, don't do this. I'm begging you." But I couldn't stay, not anymore, not with the weight of the lies she'd told me, not with the destruction she'd caused. "Leave," I repeated, my voice firm. The days that followed that night felt like I was living in a fog, a blur of anger, disbelief, and deep, unrelenting pain. I had made a decision, but the weight of that decision, the reality of it, hadn't hit me until I was alone. Caroline was gone. She'd moved out, just like I had asked her to, but I didn't feel relieved. I felt empty. I had always prided myself on being a man of reason, a man who could make tough decisions when needed, but nothing in my life had prepared me for this. There were times when I'd be sitting at my desk, trying to focus on work, but I couldn't. My mind kept drifting back to that moment at Vu's, the way Andrew had stood there, exposed everything in front of everyone, and how Caroline had just stood there, unable to stop it. My marriage was over, and yet I was still waiting for it to sink in. I kept telling myself that it was for the best, that I was better off without her. But the truth was, every night, I still looked at our bed, the empty space where she used to lie, and I felt the silence settle in around me. And that was when I realized how deep the wound went. I didn't know where to go from here. The house feels too big, too empty. I tried to fill the space with distractions, work, phone calls, anything to avoid sitting with my thoughts. I called friends, tried to keep myself busy, but nothing is working. I spent my nights going over everything, the good, the bad, and the lies. Caroline's words haunted me. "Please don't leave me. I love you." She didn't just betray me with Andrew. She betrayed the us we had built. The trust, the love, all of it was gone. And no matter how many times I heard her say sorry, no matter how much she begged, I knew deep down that the damage was irreversible. But funny enough, what is really tearing me apart is that I still love her. I hated myself for it, but I do. She had been my world for so long. I need to know how I can just turn everything off. How could I erase the years of memories, the moments that made us feel like a family? How could I just walk away from the person I once believed was my forever? These are questions I need the LC community to help me solve, because I am losing my mind already. Should I forgive her, or I should just move on already? It was late one night when I finally broke down. I'd been holding it together, trying to convince myself that everything would be fine. But the truth was, I wasn't fine. I couldn't even pretend anymore. The guilt, the heartbreak, the anger, it all crashed over me in one overwhelming wave. I picked up my phone, staring at the messages Caroline had sent me after she left. There were apologies, pleas for forgiveness, and reminders of the good times. But there was one message that stood out. It was the last thing she had sent before leaving. "I'm sorry, Mark. I ruined everything. I'll always love you, but I'll never forgive myself for what I did to you." And that was it. That right there finally broke me. For good. I know some of you might understand what I'm feeling right now, caught between love and the pain of betrayal. If you've ever been in a situation where you had to choose between letting go and holding on, I want to hear from you. How did you cope? What did you do when you realized everything had changed? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I will be in the comments to get the best possible suggestions. And if this story resonates with you, please like this video and subscribe to stay connected. Watch out for more real-life stories with the LC community, more real-life moments. Remember to like and subscribe.